Hello, guys. Welcome to your English class. Again, this is Miss Kyla, your English teacher. Today, we'll be discussing a new topic, and that is pronouns. But before we start the discussion, let us first have a review. The last time we have discussed text types, and based on the instructional video I sent, if you could still recall, there are 5 major text types in language. First is a narrative text. Second is expository text. Third is a descriptive text. Fourth is a directive text. And the last is an argumentative text. I hope you have answered your worksheet correctly. Now let's start with a discussion of pronouns. If we try to ask you, what is a pronoun? Most common answers would be, pronoun is a word class or pronoun is a part of speech, right? Because that's the most common definition that we have in mind. But we also have to consider that pronoun is one of the building blocks of language. We use it both in formal and in informal speech. We also use it every day, both in spoken language and written language. So we have to really understand much about pronouns. Don't you agree? So let's start the discussion with an example. I have here a sentence and we will find out why is pronoun that important for us. To have a clear picture of pronoun, let's read these 2 sentences. Shane is my former classmate. Shane loves playing tennis with me during Shane's free time. What have you noticed? In these 2 sentences, there are 2 things that are very obvious. First is that we are talking about Shane. And second is that we have repeated the name Shane twice. Yes, you heard it right. Shane is a name. And if you would recall, names of people, places, things, or events, we call that as nouns. And trying to look closely, there are several nouns in this sentence. We have Shane, classmate, tennis, and time. So these are all nouns. These are all names. So then where is the pronoun? Let us read the examples again. Shane is my former classmate. Shane loves playing tennis with me during Shane's free time. Does it sound awkward? Yes, it does. Because it has a repeated noun. And what is that noun? The noun is Shane. As long as we know that we're talking about Shane, we don't really have to repeat Shane twice. And as language users, we're very dynamic and our tendency is to quickly change it for it to sound better, right? Let's try to change it. Shane is my former classmate. She loves playing tennis with me during her free time. Does it sound better now? I guess it does. So based on this example, what a pronoun does is it helps us sound or not sound awkward, right? It helps us not sound awkward. We don't really have to keep repeating Shane twice when we know that we're talking about her, and we could just simply use she or her. So these words she and her are pronouns. So what is now a pronoun? A pronoun is a word that stands in for another word, or we could also say that a pronoun is a word that replaces a noun in a sentence. Today, we will focus on discussing personal pronouns. But there are other several kinds of pronouns that we'll talk about. So what is a personal pronoun? It is a word that takes the place of a noun in a sentence to avoid repetition. Or we could also say that it is a short word that we use as a simple substitute for the proper name of a person, place, thing, or an event. Well, when discussing personal pronouns, we have to consider three aspects. First is number. Second is person, and the third is case. Let's talk about the first aspect, and that is number. Well, in grammar, number refers to the grammatical contrast between the singularity and the plurality of a concept. It's not about numbers 1 to 10, okay? So in grammar, we only have two numbers. That's only singular or plural. So if the concept is one, or the idea is one, we call that number as singular. And if the concept is more than one, let's say two or more, that's already considered as plural. So you have to remember there are only two numbers in grammar, singular and plural. Let's check an example. We have here, I enjoyed my summer vacation. The pronoun used is I. Well, that is me. I'm telling you that I enjoyed my vacation. How many am I? I am only one. So I here as a pronoun is considered singular in number. Let's try another sentence. I and my classmates went to the beach and we tried surfing for the first time. Where are the pronouns? I have here I and we. Okay? So we here is our pronoun that stands for I and my classmates. So it is considered as plural. Why? Because we is a substitute word for I plus my classmates, which is more than one concept. Are you getting it? Now let's talk about the second aspect that we have to keep in mind when dealing with pronouns. Second is a person. Well, person in grammar is the way of referring to someone taking part in an event, such as the person talking, the person being talked to, or the person being talked about. Well, in grammar, there are three persons. We have the first person, second person, and the third person. It's easy to memorize. The first person is the speaker referring to himself or herself. Example, I like chocolate cake. I is the pronoun. I is the one referring to the speaker. The speaker is talking about himself or herself. Let's say, for example, me, myself, and I. Okay? I'm telling you that I like chocolate cake and I am the speaker. Okay? So that is the first person. Well, second person is the person whom someone is speaking to or is writing to. Example, you. You like chocolate cake. I am the speaker, but I am talking to you. So you, as a pronoun, is a second person. Okay? So the one who loves chocolate cake is no longer me. It is the one spoken to, and that is you. Okay? Next is the third person point of view. When the speaker is talking about a person who is not present at that moment. Let's say I am the speaker, I'm talking to you, but we're talking about John. Okay? So the third person is the one spoken about. Example, he likes chocolate cake. I am the one telling you that he likes chocolate cake. You are the one I am talking to, but we are talking about the third person, who is John. That is why we use the pronoun he. Okay? So you have to remember the three persons in grammar. First person is the speaker. Second person is the one spoken to. And the third person is the one spoken about. Let's talk about the third aspect that you have to consider when using pronouns, and that is case. Case refers to the form a pronoun takes depending on its function in a sentence. It determines how we use pronouns in sentences. Okay? We have three cases of pronouns. We have subjective, objective, and possessive. Subjective is also called as nominative. From the term itself, it acts as a subject in a sentence. So when you use pronoun as your topic or as your subject, the case of that pronoun is subjective or nominative. Let us use pronouns under subjective case. Example, I have a big chocolate bar. I is a pronoun that functions as the topic of your sentence. Next, you have some ice cream. He has a strawberry cake. We could have a party. And they could come too. Okay? So I, you, he, we, and they, these are the pronouns that we use under subjective case. Next case is objective. When using objective case, these are the personal pronouns that we use typically as a grammatical object. Sometimes we use it as a direct object or an indirect object. Sometimes we also use it as the object of the preposition. Okay? So let's have the examples. Give me the chocolate. Okay? Why should I give it to you? You could give it to him instead. Please share it with all of us. Do you have to share it with them? If you try analyzing these examples, we have the objective pronouns me, you, him, us, and them. These are all used when something is being done to someone. Okay? So these are objective pronouns. Under objective pronouns, we also have me, you, him, her, it, us, you, and them. All these are under objective case. Okay? Next is possessive case. A possessive case or a possessive pronoun, these are the pronouns that help us show possession or ownership. It is a pronoun that is used to indicate possession. Examples are, my pen won't work. Can I borrow yours? So the pronoun my tells everyone that the pen is mine. Okay? And then we also use the word or the pronoun, possessive pronoun, yours. Another example, these roses are all hers. Your dog is adorable, but not as adorable as ours. Okay? Last example, John forgot his lunchbox at home. So let's try to see where are the possessive pronouns. We have my pen, that is my, yours, hers, your dog, ours, and his. These are the examples of possessive pronouns. Under singular, we have my, mine, your, yours, his, her, hers, and its. Under plural possessive pronouns, we have our, ours, your, yours, their, and theirs. So there ends our discussion. We are done discussing what are personal pronouns. We're also done discussing the aspects that you have to consider whenever you use a pronoun. Now here I have prepared a chart of all the personal pronouns you may use in daily language. You may use this in forming your sentences or speaking verbally. Okay? Now if you would try and analyze this chart, you would notice that each pronoun falls under the proper number, whether it is a singular or plural pronoun. It also is categorized under the proper case, whether it is subject, object, or under possession. I also have grouped it based on its person, if it is considered as first person, second person, or third person. This chart will be a great help for you guys. So, if I were you, you better memorize all this. Okay? Now, let's try and apply what we have learned today. Let's have a very quick drill. Are you ready? Well, you don't have any choice. You have to be. First, what you'll do is you have to spot the pronoun. Identify the pronoun in each sentence. And after identifying, you have to tell me what is the number of that pronoun, what is the case, and in which person does it belong. Are we clear? Ready, number 1. Jane and Jasper took their bikes with them. Grab a pen and try to write down your answer. Next, number 2. I asked them to leave. And for the third one, they wanted to stay and lend me their bikes. Okay, let's check your answers. Again, earlier I told you to spot the pronoun or write down the pronoun that you have seen, tell its number, its case, and the person that it belongs to. Okay? So for the first sentence, Jane and Jasper took their bikes with them. In this sentence, there are 2 pronouns, right? The first pronoun is their. Very good. Their bikes. So we will underline the pronoun their. So in terms of number, this is plural in form. Okay? How about the case? In what case can we consider this pronoun? This is possessive case because it tells us an ownership, that Jane and Jasper owns the bike. Okay? And then the person, it is categorized under third person or the one spoken about. Okay? I hope you got it all correct. Then the next one we have them. This pronoun them, in terms of number, is considered as plural. Next, the case is objective. We can say that them is the object of the preposition with. Okay? And then the person, we call this, or we categorize this as a third person point of view. Okay, so you already have how many points are those? We have 1, 2, 3. That's 6 points. Okay? Next, second sentence we have, I asked them to leave. So we have the pronoun I is singular in number. The case is in subjective case because it's the topic of your sentence. And then the person, it is considered as a first person. Okay? Next pronoun is them. Them, in terms of number, is plural. Case is a direct object. So it is objective in case. Next is the person is third person. Okay? So that's another 6 points. All in all, you have 12 points. Let's go to number 3. They wanted to stay and lend me their bikes. So we have 3 pronouns here. They, me, and their. They, in terms of number, is plural. Case, it is the subject of your sentence, so it is subjective or nominative. And then the person, it is considered under third person point of view. Okay? Next is me. Me here is singular. The case is objective. It is an indirect object. Next, the person, it is first person point of view or the speaker. Okay? And then we are down to the last pronoun. We have their. Their is a plural pronoun in terms of number. Its case is possessive. Yes, because it tells us that they own a bike. And then the person, again, it is a third person point of view. I hope you have learned something in today's video lesson. And to test your learning, I have attached a link with this instructional video. That will serve as your quiz for today's discussion. Also, a copy of this video will be sent to your Facebook page. If you have questions or inquiries, you may reach me directly via Facebook. That's www.facebook.com/kai.gludo. You may also send me an email. That's kaila.gludo@deped.gov.ph. You may also send me a text message or call me. That's 0936-551-1909 or 0936-162-5089. In behalf of the English department, we'll try and create more videos exclusively for you guys. I hope you have enjoyed today's discussion. Thank you for watching. Adios.